Hey guys, what's up? It is the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite places. And, since lately I've been talking about Southeast Asia places, such as the Philippines. Wait, I didn't talk about that yet. But I did talk about Thailand, and I talked about Kuala Lumpur last time. So, as a continuation, of course, you know what I'm gonna talk about next. Even further south, we have Singapore. So, fun fact here. Every time I think about Singapore, I think about a classmate of mine. Anyways, I have been to Singapore twice in my life so far, anyway. One time in the year 2012 when I was only 9 years old, and one time in the year 2016 when I was 13 years old. And my perception of Singapore are very different between these two trips because I was a kid when I was 9 and I only cared about food and fun, but I cared more about the traveling and the culture and the architecture when I was 13, so my perceptions are different. But either way, Singapore has always been one of my favorite cities in Asia that I've traveled to, anyways. I didn't go to that many places. Mainly because it is a fun place, but at the same time, it doesn't shy away from being modern, being super duper just developed, and it's very tourist friendly as well. And also, Singapore is really famous for its clean streets because chewing gum is illegal apparently, but it's just a myth. I mean, you can chew gum in your hotel room or in your house if you want to. Nobody's gonna catch you there, but I don't think you can do that on the streets. But regardless, it is incredibly clean. So I remember almost the exact itinerary when I went there when I was 9. Only because I took a lot of photos and videos there. So I'm gonna talk about that first, and then I'm gonna talk about the 2016 trip to Singapore, which happened immediately after Kuala Lumpur. So I was 9 years old, and I haven't been to that many places before. And this place is one of the most memorable places and experiences I've had. Because right off the bat, we arrived at the Changi airport, which is probably the best airport in the world. I still remember when I was 9 and I first arrived at that airport. I was wowed because it looks like a mall, but actually more than just a mall, more than just a big multi-parted, high quality, luxurious mall. Like, it's so much more than that. It's like a fusion between a mall and an airport and something else, something touristy. And around the airport, there are maps. There are stands, and you can get maps of Singapore and the airport itself on those stands. You get free candy in there. Apparently, there's some sort of a playground inside the airport, like Changi Airport. Seriously. And then afterwards, we went to Marina Bay Sands. Uh, Back in 2012, and I think still right now, Marina Bay Sands is the biggest, most well known, most crazy friggin' hotel in Singapore. It's basically three gigantic hotel towers topped with a boat. And on the boat, it's actually a very shallow swimming pool. And when you're swimming on the top floor, it looks like you're on the edge and you're about to fall off, but actually it's safer than it seems. You won't fall off if you go swimming on top of that hotel, on top of that Marina Bay Sands. And it was a spectacular hotel. Not gonna lie, the lobby, it's pretty awesome, and then the hotel rooms are really satisfying, and I enjoyed my stay in Marina Bay Sands. And after 2012, they developed further, and then there are these underground malls that connect Marina Bay Sands with a bunch of other buildings around Singapore, like a bunch of underground malls, a network of those malls. It's crazy, and it's amazing. Also, there's a bus stop in Marina Bay Sands that has a shuttle bus that can bring you to like Sentosa, the little island south of Singapore, the touristy island, the very family friendly island, which leads us to day 2, where we go to Sentosa. In fact, for days 2, 3, and 4, we also went to Sentosa because we were all kids back then. Me, my family, my family's friends, and by friends I mean 4 other families, so 5 families. Yes, I think 5 families. Like, I think 20, almost 20 people. We all stayed in Singapore. We all went to places together. So of course, when I was a kid, with a bunch of other kids who are younger than me, way younger, we went to Sentosa. First stop, we went to Butterfly Park and Insect Kingdom, which is like a zoo but for insects. And back when I was a kid, I was pretty amazed. I was pretty entertained, but now of course I don't like bugs. I don't like insects, but it was still a fun place. Afterwards, we even went to the aquarium, which is pretty good as well. Family friendly, really well developed, nothing all that crappy. It's definitely better than the aquarium I went to in Houston, Texas. The aquarium in Houston isn't even an aquarium, so. But what's fun about this aquarium is that you get to touch fish. You wash your hands, you dip your hands into a fish tank, and you can touch fish. And that's really cool. But in the Houston one, you can touch fish too. Touch ray fish, stingray. But still really cool. And then afterwards, we had lunch, some quick lunch in some, food place in that place, Sentosa, Siloso. And so we decided to take some photos in the Siloso beach. And it was hot because Singapore is very close to the equator. And even though it was only, I think, April when we went there, it's so friggin' hot. When I took my shoes off and stepped onto the sand, it burns. It burns. So I remember that. I remember that very vividly. We even went to the Dolphin Lagoon Bay and watched a performance of sorts. And then by the end, we went back to our hotel and we went swimming because the fun just doesn't stop there. And then after that, we settled down and then we left our hotel once again to a place called the Long Beach for dinner. I don't know why we keep on going to that place, which is not one of the more urban places in Singapore, but it's still in the central zone of Singapore. But it doesn't feel like an urban place. It feels more outside. And maybe it's because my mom's friends know some guy who worked in this restaurant, but we always go to this restaurant. And Long Beach. And I think we went there twice on this trip. But it was a pretty solid restaurant. The seafood, of course. When you go to Southeast Asia, you have to try the seafood. Dessert is pretty special. It's like green lime jello with ice cream on top, and the ice cream is smoking. It's pretty interesting. And then we have day 3, where we went to Sentosa again. And according to my photos and videos, maybe it's because I didn't take all the photos and videos. But apparently we went to the Sentosa Zoo for the entire day on that day. And it was a pretty fun zoo. It was big, and it was pretty fun. Not gonna lie. What's special about the zoo is that in the middle of the zoo, there's a swimming, not a swimming pool, but sort of a water park where you can just change to your swimsuit and you can just play around in that water park, and things are just gonna shoot water at you, and a bunch of kids are playing there. There are slides. It's basically watery playground, which is weird, but again, I was 9 and it was a lot of fun. And after visiting that zoo, I went back to the hotel with a bunch of kids. We called room service and we had dinner there. The room service is not bad at all. I mean, it's Marina Bay Sands, come on. Yeah, the parents, they go out and have their own night. We kids, we gotta stay at home watching the TV. And then we have day 4, where we go to the very famous Universal Studios. I've been to 3 Universal Studios as of now. The Hollywood one, the Osaka one, and the Singapore one, the Sentosa one. And that's how I would rank them from my favorite to my least favorite. Yes, the Sentosa Universal Studios is the smallest and the most underwhelming Universal Studios in the world, possibly. That still doesn't take away from the fact that Universal Studios are awesome. They're awesome. But still, it's really small, really hot there too. But still, when I first went there, it was the first time I've been to a Universal Studio, so I was really friggin' excited. And it was not bad. As always, the entrance is, old school Hollywood, like any other theme park in the world. And then we have the futuristic zone. We have the scary zone. We have, different zones and stuff. And I still had fun. You know what? I'm just gonna go through some of my photos, if possible. I just realized that I can just look at photos. I can just do that. So yeah. So the mummy ride, and that's pretty much on what happened on that day. Universal Studios. I had lunch there, I think, but it was expensive. But you're in a theme park, of course it's expensive. Afterwards, we went to a restaurant, apparently, right? Here's the thing, I just realized that we had dinner in some random restaurant, and I don't know that because I didn't take any photos on that day. I don't know why. But apparently we went to a nice little dimly lit restaurant, had some Western food there, as always, and had a pretty good meal, enjoyed life, and that's day 4. Yay, I need to look up where that restaurant is. Alright, day 5. Apparently there's an ice skating rink in Marina Bay Sands, or more like the mall attached to Marina Bay Sands. I don't remember skating. I don't remember ice skating, but I took photos of that thing. And then afterwards, we didn't go anywhere. We were in the same mall, and we went to a food court called the Rasapura food court, which is pretty good. Again, I don't have any complaints. I was 9. I remember, according to my memories, every meal I had in Singapore is good when I was 9. And we went to a Jumper Zilla's Playhouse, where it's just a bunch of plastic mats and bubble pools, plastic bubble pools, and slides, and little nets, and you play around. I was 9, come on. And I was with a bunch of kids that are even younger than me. I had fun there, but of course it was dumb. You know how the places you've been to when you were a kid are going to greatly impact the tones and the styles of your dreams when you're in your childhood. So I guess there's that. Anyways, I see now I'm looking at photos, but I don't know if I've been here or not. No, I haven't. But basically, we were in the mall. We were having fun. Our parents went out again, and they went to have Hainanese chicken rice in a restaurant called Tian Tian. Yeah. Hainan chicken rice. Even though Hainan isn't its name, and Hainan is one of the provinces in China, but it's it's a southern little island, Hainan. But Singapore, I even asked my Singaporean friend, and she said, well, chicken rice is the most famous Singaporean dish, alongside with a few other things like laksa, which is more Southeast Asian than it is just Singapore. But it's basically this bowl of salty, sour, spicy noodles, and it tastes great. Okay, it tastes great. Or maybe it's just me. I don't know. Afterwards, we stayed at the hotel, and then we went over to day 6, where we went swimming once again. I had lemonade beside the pool, and had, I don't know, food, snacks beside the pool. There was a little bar that was really cool. And then afterwards, we packed our bags. We checked out of Marina Bay Sands. And for lunch, we went to a place called the Swee Key Fish Head Noodle House. Day 6. Right. Let's get back to the lunch part. I don't know why, but in the video, I said Gerang, which apparently is the name of a district in Singapore. And in that district, we had lunch there. More Chinese food than Western. More Asian, I should say. And it was a pretty good lunch. And then afterwards, we went to the airport, the Changi. And then we went back to Hong Kong. Yay! And this is the first time in my life where I filmed a vlog, like a trip vlog. And I was so satisfied with it, I decided that I should keep doing it, and that's why nowadays I keep doing it, because I was just so satisfied with this. No, actually, this isn't the first time, technically. The first time is basically, it's Hong Kong. It's still in Hong Kong, but in some other island. I and my friends and our families, we went to this house together and had a little vacation. Also in Hong Kong, but in a different location. And I filmed a vlog there, but it was just for fun. Like, haha, let's film stuff. And I talk to the camera and, say something like, oh, I just had lunch, blah, blah, blah. Next, I'll do this, I'll do that. And so for Singapore, I did that. And I was so unaware of myself when I was vlogging, like I was speaking very loudly. The other tourists probably thought that, okay, this kid is really stupid. This kid is really annoying. But, that's why I keep a more low-key profile nowadays when I'm vlogging. Because I don't want to annoy others, you know? It's annoying when you vlog. So I try to be low key. You know? That's 2012. Moving over to 2016. It's been 4 years since I've been to Singapore, and my memories have pretty much faded because I was still a kid. But I took less videos there. I didn't plan to do a vlog there again because I just don't see the need to, because it was just this little small trip. But you know, nowadays of course I would. But back then I didn't think I would actually have a YouTube channel, so I didn't really care. But in the year 2016, April 1st, only me, my mom, my dad, and my brother, we went from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore, Changi Airport. And we stayed at Singapore for 3 days, but actually 2 days, because on the third day, we departed. Right. So 2 days in Singapore, what did we do? We didn't go to Sentosa anymore, because we've already been there. But and this time we didn't stay at Marina Bay Sands because we would be broke. Instead, we stayed at Ritz-Carlton Marriott again, because I think my dad is a member of like Marriott Premium something, I don't know. We went to Ritz-Carlton Marriott, and it was a fantabulous hotel. As always, Ritz-Carlton is like the highest tier in all the Marriotts. You get the Resident Inn, which is just meh, so, you know. You get the resort. The resort is pretty cool. And you get the very normal ones, you know, the regular ones, right? And then you get Ritz-Carlton, the high class, the high-end hotels, all right? The Ritz-Carlton in Kuala Lumpur is classy. It looks like cookies and cream. It looks like Oreo. And the Ritz-Carlton here, different in styles, different in tone. In the bathroom in our hotel rooms, we get this gigantic 8-sided shape. I forgot the name. Octagon window. And it was beautiful. It was a really, really cool hotel room. And for the first day, we settled down in the morning, and we had lunch in a place nearby, because every single hotel in the world is somehow, well, in Singapore, is somehow connected on the ground and underground. And we went to this mall, which is like across the street of the hotel or something. Now that I'm recalling it, the hotel, I think, is like on a hill, and so we had to go down the hill, and then we had to cross the street, and we went to this mall called the Suntec Mall, and in there we had lunch, which is amazing. It's been a long time since I've had a lunch this good, but it's this good. We had pizza there, sushi also. Why not? We're in Singapore, where all the cultures infuse with one another. Why not? We had dessert. And then afterwards, we went back to the hotel. We went swimming. I did my revision. And then at night, we went to Long Beach again. Long Beach Seafood Restaurant, the same restaurant, and had dinner there, which is cool. And of course, the seafood. I had watermelon juice. I had fried rice. The shrimp, the lobster, yes. The chicken, and we didn't finish everything, so takeaways. So there's that. Day 2 out of 3, we went to another mall in Singapore, and I forgot what mall it is, but we went to a bunch of different malls, and we somehow ended up in a place called the Esplanade, which is this theatrical place where a lot of theater plays happen. Theaters on the bay, Esplanade, that rhymes. And we decided to check it out because outside of the building looks weird, you know? Like, I don't know why, but when I was out in the open, I was outdoors in Singapore, the view looks like a wallpaper. The skies are clear blue, and all the buildings are just glass and steel, weird shaped, creatively futuristic buildings. And we get these pedestrian bridges linking between two buildings or two malls, and these bridges are like, it feels like I'm in a video game. It feels like I'm in a wallpaper or a poster to a very futuristic city of sorts. It's just very urban. It almost looks superficial. It almost looks fake, but it's not. And we get the green stuff as well, and it's like I'm in this futuristic world where, you know, environmental friendliness is very valued, and you know, we get these very well trimmed bushes, wedges, you know, these trees that are arranged like it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, Esplanade, Shakespeare, that's it. I don't know why we went in there. I think we went in there because we wanted to go to the bathroom or something. And then afterwards, we went to the Bay. The Bay, a very famous place. It was really friggin' hot. There was football court of sorts, and there was the very famous stone lion, half mermaid with water coming out of it. You know, that statue, the very famous one. And then we went onto that futuristic bridge that I just mentioned, and we went into another mall. And let me see. The mall is the Marina Bay Sands Mall, again, but some part of it, or some, I don't know, it has to somehow connect with the Marina Bay Sands, but I don't know how, but it somehow connects. And then later on, we went underground and we arrived at Gardens by the Bay, which is this little oasis, you know, green, environmental friendly zone in the middle of the central Singapore, which is again futuristic, urban, super developed. And in this place we get super tall trees, except they're all plastic, right? Like we read signs and the signs are saying, you know, oh, these trees are really old and they have a lot of history, but they're made out of plastic. Some trees in that place are for real. But it was basically like this giant park, you know, and it's really awesome. I hope that more cities around the world makes, you know, special parks, you know, not just parks, but special parks that actually have themes and stuff. It was really nice. We went into a little cafe, a little restaurant, sit down and, you know, just enjoy. I had some chicken wings, and in the middle of chewing my chicken wings, I felt my tooth loose, you know, shaking, and then suddenly it went off. I lost a tooth. I was 13 and it was a baby tooth, so of course it's loose. And so I remembered very vividly. I lost one tooth in Paris and another in Singapore. And there was blood everywhere. It looks scary, but honestly I'm happy about it. Finally, it's loose. I'm freed. You know when your baby tooth is loose but you still can't take it out because it still kind of hurts, and that feeling, it sucks. But when it finally, I guess, falls out of your mouth, it's like finally, you know. So yeah, it's really amazing. And then we went underground again after Gardens by the Bay, and we went to another mall, which, according to my photos, is a mall called Raffles City or Robinson Mall. I don't know if these malls are the same thing, but it's one of those, right? And we went to a restaurant there, and we had dinner there, and it was fantastic. It was a grandiose ending to the Singapore trip. And we stumbled upon this marketplace, Vitality Court Place. I don't know if anyone, if any one of my viewers are from Singapore, tell me what mall this is. But it was a pretty cool mall, pretty fancy as well. Definitely more fancy, more developed, and more futuristic than the malls in Kuala Lumpur. But still, of course, you're gonna have like a ton of malls if you're in Southeast Asia. That's just how things go. But still, the dinner is amazing. We got a cheesy pizza, we got a seafood platter, French fries, and that's it. And then day 3, we checked out of the hotel, departed, went onto the plane, went to Changi Airport, and then went to the plane, flew back to Hong Kong, and that's it. So yeah, Singapore, it's a pretty great place, pretty fun, very futuristic, very urban and developed, very clean as well. All sorts of cultures and styles sort of immerse together, and very tourist friendly. And I recommend this city to anyone who is interested in traveling in Southeast Asia. Even if you're a travel hipster, just go to Singapore and take a break, because it's very, very, very tourist friendly. And again, the people in Singapore and Malaysia, they speak like 5 languages, so there's that. And I look forward to going there again if I can. I don't know, maybe 50 years later, I don't know. But anyways, I've been there twice already. So I finished Singapore. I still have 2 Philippines video and 1 New Zealand video to do, and then afterwards I'm completely done. I've already talked about all the places that I've been to. So thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want more.